Multi-trajectory rotary spray nozzle is the industry technical term for these. They all kind of look the same, so is there really a difference? Yes, and how? I'll show what the differences are and why I only use one model. You're going to be blown away by what you see. Oh! Tom Lanier here with Sprinkler Pros. Be sure to stick around to the end of this short video to get your free downloads to help you with your irrigation. I have 2 specific downloads just for this video. Be sure to like and subscribe and click the bell to be notified when the next videos are available. Small print here. I don't get any compensation from the companies I'm discussing here. I just have a lot of experience to back up what I'm about to share. I could spend many hours recording and editing content for this video and still not give you the amazing info that you'll see here in a moment because I don't have the resources to provide this kind of content, so I'm going to rely on someone else's efforts who did a great job. This video I'm about to show you says a lot, but they don't give the perspective from someone in the field that has used these since they were introduced. That would be me. I'll give you some extremely important tips that you'll want to hear as it can save you a lot of headache and hassle and customer disappointment if you're in the industry. I'll be creating a more detailed video on how to install, adjust, maintain, and troubleshoot these nozzles, so be sure to subscribe to get notified when it's ready.
In the external sand test, we put our nozzle into a sand pit and run them for 1 minute on and 1 minute off. Every hour, our test engineers bury the nozzles with sand. This grueling test shows how the nozzle can handle different sized particles getting inside the nozzle. In the internal sand test, the nozzles are placed in a test slab where sand is added inside the pipe every hour. This shows how the nozzle can handle debris getting in the pipes and flowing through the nozzles. After only 2 days of testing, competitor 1's first nozzle has already failed with a stop of rotation of the nozzle. As we approach day 5, both of competitor 2 nozzles have pretty much stopped rotating. Interestingly enough, after 2 weeks of internal sand testing, competitor 3's gear-driven nozzle has already stopped rotating. When looking at both external and internal sand testing for 2 weeks, only the MP rotator stands up to both tests without failure. The MP rotator's patented double pop and only one moving part makes it the most durable for the toughest conditions. When building and testing quality Hunter nozzles, we put them through an extreme surge test. This entails flushing water through the nozzle at high pressure to see how they perform. In this example, we're going to take it to the extreme at 100 psi to see what happens. First up is the MP rotator. First surge test goes through successfully. We continue to test through 20 cycles to ensure it can handle this tough demand. Next we test competitor 1. Boom! This nozzle's weak design build just blows apart on the first surge, leaving the nozzle in pieces. Now let's look at competitor 2. Another blow. This nozzle could not handle the pressure either. Last up is competitor 3. And wow! Once again, the surge destroyed the competition. With all the moving parts of the competitor's nozzles, they just can't handle the extreme pressure. Although this pressure would rarely occur in irrigation pipes, it does show how strong the MP design is and how well it's manufactured above and beyond the competition. Hunter's nozzle performs so well in distribution uniformity testing, partially because of its smooth speed of rotation. This helps evenly distribute the water. Let's take a look at the MP rotator speed of rotation next to its competitors. MP rotator goes a full circle in 31 seconds. Competitor's 1 rotation. A full rotation happens in only 3.5 seconds and has a variable speed of rotation. Competitor 2's full rotation takes 26 seconds. Competitor 3's full rotation takes 13 seconds.
Wow. Well, if that doesn't convince you which one is superior, I'll get to the pointers in a moment. First, I'll say this. Even before I saw this video for the first time, I knew that everyone I know and had heard of in my industry used the Hunter MP rotators. The only other competitors similar nozzles that you saw in the video that I see in my area are the Rainbird R vans, and that is a rarity. What I had noticed from them on my jobs is how fast they turned, so I knew they were dumping more water than the Hunters. Okay, here are the tips. To preface them, I will give you an understanding of why I'm about to tell you this. These nozzles were actually developed by Nelson Irrigation and introduced in 2002 under the name Walla Walla Sprinkler Company, as in Walla Walla, Washington. So you may have some of those in your landscape with the name Walla Walla printed on top. Since Nelson Irrigation is mostly an agricultural irrigation manufacturer, they sold the MP rotator nozzle line to Hunter in 2007. Here's the clincher. The nozzle was designed for agriculture, not landscaping. So here's why that matters. This nozzle was designed for watering things like onions. Think Walla Walla onions. Every square inch of ground does not need to be watered like lawns do. When this nozzle was first introduced, we were heading into an intense drought here in the West, and we're looking for ways to conserve. This nozzle uses about a third the water per minute than standard pop-up nozzles, so it puts the water down more slowly, allowing the water to soak in and not so quickly run off, especially on slopes. I began installing these where possible and even replacing standard pop-up nozzles with these in a water conservation effort. But after several years of using them, I noticed something disturbing that made me rethink where I use them. To cut to the chase, I'll give you my very best real-life example, yet know that I encountered this on many landscapes. When a lawn sprinkler system is installed, it's important to be sure the sprays reach each other, which is what we call head-to-head coverage. With the multi-trajectory nozzles, it's absolutely critical. About 10 years ago, I removed a perfectly rectangular lawn, so it should have been a slam dunk when I installed the new irrigation system, which included the MP rotators. Curvy lawns can be a challenge with any type of sprinklers to get good coverage. But after a couple of weeks, I received a call from the owner telling me there were dry spots in the lawn. I returned and tweaked the nozzles the best possible, yet after a couple of more visits of doing this, I gave up and called the company's area rep, who came out and saw that everything was installed perfectly, yet no answer for me. That was the day I made this important decision. Only use MP rotators on lawns in cool, shady environments or in extreme situations that leave no reasonable alternatives. I will explain what I mean in my future video about MP rotators, where I'll cover more details and tips about using them. So be sure you understand that if you live in cooler climates like the Northwest or back east, it's probably fine to use them in the lawns. Also, it's not Hunter's fault. Theirs is the best on the market. You're not going to get better coverage results with someone else's multi-trajectory nozzles. There may be a day when they come up with a solution for this, but in the meantime, you can use these all you want in flower beds, since you don't need to cover every square inch like you do with lawns in hot climates. So, what did I do about that lawn? Well, I replaced all the sprinklers with Hunter's PGJ rotor sprays at my expense. It completely solved the problem. No more dry spots. Lesson learned. I'll showcase PGJs in a future video. 2 quick tips here. Be sure your operating pressure is between 40 and 50 psi at the furthest head from the sprinkler valve. There are several ways to correct this if it's too high. One is using a pop-up like the PRS-40 that has a built-in pressure regulator to keep it at 40. If it's on a riser in the flower bed, there's a riser version. If the PSI is too low, then you probably have too many heads on the line. To purchase this handy gauge adapter set, go to my resources page linked below and find it on the sprinklers page. You can also purchase the pop-ups there and the nozzles and the adjustment tool. The other quick tip is to avoid using multi-trajectory nozzles on systems that derive their water from these dirty water sources, which are well, pond, lake, or gray water. Watch my video on that subject linked here to see why. So there you have it. Hunter MP rotators are the best multi-trajectory spray nozzles on the market today. You just need to be careful where you use them. Unless your lawn is on a steep slope, it's better to install standard pop-ups or rotor sprays to get better coverage. I'll be releasing more best of videos, so be sure to like and subscribe and click the bell to be notified when the next videos are available. Remember the free downloads available by clicking the link below. The two for this video are a chart of all the currently available MP rotator nozzles and their flow rates, and an instruction sheet of how to install and adjust the nozzles. What sprinkler system questions do you have that you'd like a video for? Let me know in the comment section below. See you next time.